Thanks for the entrance team. All right. Okay, I'm expecting actually more people in the hall. Have they gone to? All right. Okay, so I'm going to moderate this session right now. So if you look at the topic, it says there, doctors innovating in healthcare. So when I was assigned the task to moderate this session, I had no idea what I'm actually getting myself into. But after having a short conversation with them, later you guys will also find out, how impressive and how amazing three gentlemen here has been actually involved in new inventions and all. So I think this is a great opportunity to hear it from them. So what I'm going to do is Dr. Haizan, Dr. Kuhan and Dr. Gumit. So I want each and every one of you to just give a short introduction about yourself. Okay, where are you practicing right now? And then I'll get into the Q&A regarding your inventions. All right, so you want to start with that? Yeah, Dr. Gumit, go ahead.
I'm Gurmeet. I'm a neurosurgeon. I'm currently practicing in Subang Jaya Medical Center. Prior to that, I have been working with KKM for the last 30 over years. And then I retired and moved to Subang Jaya Medical Center.
All right, thank you. Dr. Kuan?
Yes.
Yeah. Invent new microphone also. I think should work. Just
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Kuhan, currently practicing in Hospital Sultan Ismail. I'm an ENT surgeon. Graduated from Melaka Manipal, and then I did my masters in currently been about 4 years in Johor.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Haizan. I'm in the academics, National University Malaysia, teaching orthopedics. Then I left to join Sunway about 20 years ago. And part of leaving because we want to develop something, but in academics, in the government, it's difficult. So I left now with Sunway, then we formed companies. We have 2 inventions. We'll talk about inventions later. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, by the way, MC, hello. Okay, this session is going to be super interesting. So I think 5 minutes after this, put up the QR. Let them start asking questions because it's very, very interesting. If you can get more people in, trust me, it's going to be very interesting. Okay, all right. So start with you or start there first. All right, Dr. Gumit, tell us a little bit about your invention and how did the idea even came from? What problem were you trying to solve?
The set-off was when I lost the patient died. This is an elderly gentleman who had a fall at home. So comes to ED, you do a CT scan, shows a small blood clot, doesn't need any operation. So you admit the patient, observe, repeat a CT scan, and the clot is same size. So patient is good enough to go home. So I told this to his daughter, the sole caretaker. But she requests, can you keep him one more day? I'm going outstation. So I said, okay, the ward is empty. This is in Penang GH. So I said, okay, no problem. The ward is empty. I can accommodate the request. The following morning when I come back from my rounds, he has a high spike of fever. And the fever is unremitting. By evening, I know he's got something from the hospital already. It's hospital-acquired infection. Definition is any infection caught 48 hours after admission to hospital. So he deteriorates. I move him to neurosurgery ICU. We got our own ICU. And further downhill, he's intubated, ventilated. If we take blood investigation, by then we already know he's got bacteria in the blood. And it originates from the urinary system. So I knew somehow the bacteria has gained entry into his bloodstream and he's not doing too well. So cut long story short, he died. He died. And when I conveyed this to the daughter, there was a very, I could see regret. I could see regret. Why did I ask my father to stay one extra day? Second question was, how can this happen in a safe place? My father came my father had just a blood in the brain, and how did he have this infection? Of course, that question is very naive. She didn't know about HAIs, hospital-acquired infection. I know. But there onwards, I knew something is not right how we handle human waste in the hospital. There's some break in protocol. That set me on to think, how can I avoid infections arising from collecting, transporting, and disposing of waste in the hospital. That's my pain point, and I started from there.
Okay. So basically, it's a preventable death, lah.
Definitely.
Right, okay.
HAIs are definitely preventable.
Okay. You want to go on from there, or we move slowly first? Okay. All right. So remember, yeah, Dr. Gurmit's case was he was trying to prevent hospital-acquired infection. So we hear from him later, what did he invent to actually prevent hospital-acquired infection? Right. Dr. Kuan, yourself, what was it you were trying to solve?
To be honest, I wanted to make money, and that was my only motivation, because I know that I would like to have a better lifestyle, and sadly, the salary that we have is not it's never enough, and for the hours that we do, we are always overworked and underpaid. So I was in cardiothoracic at that time. I was a medical officer in cardiothoracic hospital Serdang, and in two different settings, both my surgeons told me for some reason I should go to South Africa to attend and learn about their emergency and trauma services. And I was very interested with emergency medicine as well at that time. So I took the advice and booked a flight ticket from Mata Fair and went to South Africa, and that was one of the biggest conference they had in emergency medicine. And outside that conference, there were so many booths exhibiting innovative products. And so I was very drawn to that. I started becoming more interested to know, like, oh, there's such innovative things out there that's not available in Malaysia, and very, very advanced things such as artificial blood, so many trauma equipments. So I realized that there's a need for innovation, need for, there's a dire need for these kind of things. And subsequently started to get more interested in attending medical exhibitions, big exhibitions in Dubai. They have one called Arab Health, where they have 4,000 to 5,000 large manufacturers, big startups, a lot of exhibition, innovative products. So that was the interest that I started with.
I see. So your innovation started from your, how should I say, the disruptive mindset of trying to find something new.
Yes.
in your day-to-day practice, basically. Right? Okay. So Dr. Haizan, before we all even go in deeper, so the conversation actually gets more intense now. So what drives you to, what was the problem that you were trying to solve?
I was teaching in UKM. I teach UM as well, UPM students, and I realized that we don't have our own knowledge. We just take whatever knowledge is in the books, mostly from the West, and then we teach back. We don't create our own stuff, and we don't solve problems using our own innovation. During tsunami, I volunteered for a few months over in Indonesia, and we find that we cannot operate. And we couldn't get orthopedic implants, because I'm an orthopedic surgeon. We had to use building materials. Black & Decker, Black & Decker, the drill. We sterilized the stamen pin with a drill without anesthesia during tsunami. And then we use wires to connect the pins and put acrylic. That's the external sweater. Then when I came back, I realized that in Malaysia, around our region, we don't manufacture stuff. We buy stuff. How can we go on? There's no freedom. Spiritually, we're not free. We keep buying from others, and it's not a good solution. It's expensive. So I decided that I'll do something different. I formed a company called OSA Technology. We make orthopedic implants, the first company that made under our own brand. And we earned, about 13 years ago, we were awarded by the Minister of Health the contract to serve 57 hospitals. So 57 hospitals in Malaysia buy orthopedic trauma implants from us only. So we're the first priority. But that was the first start. The second is we need to innovate, find our own problems, identify our own problems and solve it. And I believe we have the people here, smart people, to innovate. The challenge is innovation, is one. The second is how to get the innovation to the market. There's a lot of hurdles there. And Malaysia ecosystem is not ready for it. Theoretically, yes, but in practice, not.
Okay, I agree with you. So what you just mentioned is that Malaysia being a consumer-driven kind of economy rather than invention and creating, correct? So yeah, you're right actually. Because even when I look at the MOH budget on R&D alone, I think the R&D budget is I think less than 1%. Yeah, so there is very little emphasis on capital investment into creating new stuff. So we are just buying most of the time. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so Dr. Gurmeet, maybe you want to tell us what have you invented to prevent that hospital-acquired infection?
So as I told you, as I started to study the system, I noticed my nurses who collect urine from the urine bank and then transport and then in the end dispose of in the toilet. During this process, they soil the whole environment, either it's odor, pollution, or the nurses by contact transmission touch the whole environment. Slight digress, on my last day in HKL, I'm retiring and I finished my afternoon rounds and I'm leaning against the counter. I'm thinking, looking out of the window, I'm saying, wow, 30 years of government service, what crap life, man. Then I said, tomorrow I don't have to come to work in the morning, okay. Then I saw my nurse remove a catheter from the acute cubicle in front of me. She removes the catheter, she walks, which is a distance away, I don't know how many drops of urine fell down. She drops it into the yellow bin, which is good. And then suddenly the pachi says, boleh bagi air ke? So she goes with the same gloves, she carries the mineral water bottle like this and gives it to the patient. I said, bingo. So my estimation was right. So people frequently, we forget, the nurses, not people, the nurses forget to adhere to hand hygiene protocol. So I know I need to break the nurse urine contact. The way to do this is automate the whole system. Have a small robot, go about, drain the urine, collect, do it, you can drain many urine bags together, that's efficiency. Currently it's not efficient. Currently, if the jug, which is 2 liters, for those who probably have not worked for a long time in the government hospital, there's a jug that they use to decant. It's everywhere. I work in Singapore, NNI is the same, the jug. I work in Perth, is the same jug. I work in Istanbul, is the same jug. I went to France to do pediatric neurosurgery, Necker, Paris, same jug. The only variation, some are a bit more advanced, they use a pail. So that's about it. Otherwise, therefore, all this system is open, is indiscreet meaning the whole world can see you collecting urine. And do note, for those of you still working in the government service, keep your eyes open. The moment the nurse is trying to drain urine, there'll be family members. It's like a small circus, you know. Everybody is looking what you're doing. So it's indiscreet, it's open, it's unhygienic, it's dirty, and it's smelly, definitely. And I pity the nurse. If I've seen pregnant nurses walk from one end to the other end, and then back again. Number one. Number two, the odor. As you're draining it, it falls into the jug. It's agitated and the odor is present. I can move away. While doing it, I just move away. I go and see another patient. But my nurse, what about her? I think there must be dignity in doing this. I did a survey in my department. My nurses hate this method. Then the next question is, if you really hate this method, why don't you employ another method? There's none. Then I did a national level survey, 1,470 responses, the whole country, with the assistance of Malaysian Nurses Union. True. They are worried about they getting infection. They're worried about passing infection. They want to be fast, and the odor bothers them. So there's something not right with this whole system. Then I thought maybe it's the Asian thing, the Malaysian thing. I went to University of California, San Diego, ran a trial with them. It's the same thing there.